Welcome to another Reddit video, Rumors. I cheated on my wife with her sister. I know the title sounds bad, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm 35 years old, and my wife is 34. We've been together since childhood, did everything together, and she was the love of my life. I proposed to her when I was 20, and she agreed when I was 26 and she was 25. We had our daughter, and we were so happy. She was everything we ever wanted. We were a happy family. A few months after our first daughter was born, she gave birth to our son, and we were even happier. We had our perfect little family of 4. Before anyone asks why we had children so young, after high school, I got my degree in accounting and started working for my dad. His company is big, and I made a lot of money. Yes, we signed a prenup when we got married. We went on dates very often, and our life in the bedroom was amazing. I spoiled her and our kids with gifts and flowers. 3 times a week, I bathed them. We had a big house, and I was able to give her the life she always dreamed of, which we talked about a lot when we were teenagers. I thought we were happy, but she still cheated on me. I found out she had a dating app, and when I confronted her about it, she didn't deny it. She said I was always absent, and she couldn't be satisfied. I wanted to leave, but I stayed for my kids, even though my pain was too much to even look at her. We went to counseling, which helped for a while, but then she said she was hooking up with guys every night, even bringing some to our house and our bed, in the house I paid for. Our kids were now 8 and 7 years old. We knew divorce would be hard for them since they loved us both so much. I didn't want them to have a tainted image of her, despite my pain and sorrow. I stayed but moved her to the guest room. You might be wondering where her sister comes in. Well, throughout all this, she was my rock. My family wouldn't understand my pain. Her family always favored her because her sister was the accidental baby. I still loved her, but I didn't know she was making her sister's life hell. My wife was hardly ever home when she moved to the guest room. Now, our kids barely saw their mother, and when they talked to her, she was rude, cold, or ignored them. When she came home, she'd look for something to eat/drink, go to her room, and stay there. So her sister was there for our kids. She would be around the house a lot, picked up my kids, and did things with them. She was also home when my wife was home, but she didn't care. After 2 years of this, my kids started calling her mom. She didn't want them to if they didn't want to, but they did. It made me happy because they were happy. They had only talked a handful of times with their mother, so they were used to it, and so was I. My wife's sisters and I spent a lot of time together, and I loved her too. Now, this brings me to the current situation. I booked a trip to Fiji for me, my wife, and my kids. My wife's sister wanted us to try and fix things, which I tried for the first year, but I stopped because she wasn't. So I went to my wife and told her about it. She just screamed at me, told me to leave, and that she wouldn't come. I'm not kidding. She referred to her own kids as those little, censored. It's like she knew our kids were calling her sister mom. If she knew, she would have a fit. She said they weren't hers anymore and that it was a mistake to have them. This startled me, but I didn't insist. So I asked my wife's sister and told her what happened. She said yes, and we arrived last week. It's been amazing. My wife's sister and my kids have had a great time. They love her, and this makes me very happy knowing they have a motherly figure during all the drama of the last 3 years. So this brings me to last night. My kids met another family with kids, so they spent the night, leaving me and my wife's sister alone. We talked about the kids and life in general. With the mood and atmosphere, we could both tell something was happening between us, and I kissed her. She stopped me and asked if I really wanted to do this and that it didn't seem right. I told her yes, I feel like we both can feel it. We didn't share a room. My kids shared a bed, and I had one next to them. My wife's sister had the master bedroom. So we ended up sleeping together. Yes, I know it's wrong, but nothing like this had ever happened before. The environment really confused us. Right now, I'm lying in bed next to her writing this, about to text my lawyer. She's still sleeping. I just needed to get this out. I know not many people will read this, but it would be nice to know if one person does. Thank you. So I deleted my original account because I realized how wrong I was for not divorcing my wife. I don't know who's going to see this, but I think it's worth a shot. So, to clear up a lot of confusion, yes, I let my kids stay with a family they just met because, as I said, there were other kids there, not just mine and the family's. Yes, my wife stayed with us because she had nowhere else to sleep. And what I meant by my kids being born a month apart, I mean my other child was conceived a few months after my daughter. Sorry for the confusion. I was very nervous while writing this. So, due to my unfaithfulness and hers as well, I'm obligated to give her a sum of my money which I don't give about because I'm doing great, unlike her because she doesn't really work. So I arrived home this morning and now it's afternoon and we returned directly to my house. Well, when we entered, my wife was waiting on the sofa and she was very upset. She asked why the hell I brought her sister on the trip because I could have canceled her ticket. Well, no, I couldn't have done that. They cost a fortune, and even though I'm doing well, I teach my kids the value of money, and I thought she knew that too. I obviously thought wrong. So I told her this and asked her if she could calm down so we could talk. She wouldn't calm down unless her sister left, so I told them to wait in the car. Then I sat down with her and asked if there were any guests when we weren't there. Of course there were. At that moment, I remembered what some of you said about my kids maybe not being mine. So I asked her. She said she slept with a guy just before my daughter was born. My stomach dropped. She said she didn't believe he was the father because my daughter looks so much like me, but she also said the guy she slept with somewhat resembled me. So I planned to get a DNA test for my two kids. I told her after that it was a divorce. To my surprise, she got angry. Not the kind of anger where you get up and start crying, the kind of anger where she lowered her head disappointed. Her eyes showed she realized what she had done, how badly she ruined her relationship with me and her kids, not to mention her sister. She also said she regretted how she treated me and hopes we can get past it. I considered it because I saw the girl I fell in love with again, the girl whose laughter brought me joy, the girl who knew how to make me smile. But then I remembered what she put us through, me and the kids. So I stood up and told her there's no way she'll get another chance, and that if she really wants to see the kids, she can bet on her terms. I told her my lawyer would be in touch, and that I'd be willing to rent her a temporary room until the divorce is finalized. She said she'd like that. I let her take some of her things and watched to make sure she didn't take anything of mine. Meanwhile, I called an Uber for her to go wherever she wanted. I also told her I'd let her know where she'd be staying. She left fairly peacefully but kept her head down on the way to the car. My kids came out and asked me what happened. I told them Mom won't be staying with us anymore, but if they want, she can come to visit whenever they want to see her. I told them to go up and unpack, so this gave me some time alone with her sister. We sat down and basically talked about everything that happened on the trip and what will happen now. We agreed to try dating, but after my divorce ends, which is best for the kids to calm down, but her aunt won't be living with us. Besides, she's not married. I wouldn't do this with a married woman. So, now this brings me to now. We just finished a paternity test at the clinic. I'm very nervous to know the results. I'll update when I have them. Thanks. Thank you to everyone who supported me with advice and encouragement. To those who say this is fake, unfortunately, it's not. Although I wish it were. This is really an ugly situation, and I would appreciate it if you refrained from commenting that my situation is false. To all those who say I'm wrong for cheating on my wife first and that it surprises me when she cheated on me, that's not the case. I received the paternity results, and both kids are mine. I'm thrilled that these kids I love so much are 100% mine, my blood. My kids and I started counseling with 2 sessions a week. Their first session was after school, and it already seems to be helping. Now, on to 2 topics I think everyone wants to know: my ex-wife and my sister-in-law. I'll start with my ex. I got her a study room last night. I don't know what she does during the day, but I don't care. We've only had a little conversation. It was about our kids and the divorce. She signed the papers my lawyer sent her. She told me she'll fight me if I try to keep her kids away from her. She's been harassing me, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and her kids. When our conversation ended, I have evidence, as some of you suggested, for the person who messaged me about my ex maybe having a mental health issue. I don't know of any, but she might need to get tested because of how she's been behaving. My kids don't want to see her right now, and I don't blame them. I'll try to get a protection order before the court date, which will be decided in the coming weeks, but the actual date will probably be in a few months. I withdrew all the money from our joint account, but sent her something to live on and enough to hire a lawyer. Now, my sister-in-law. So, we talked once. That was before I wrote this. My kids really want to see her. So, we've planned a day for them to hang out with her on Friday after school. I've read all the comments about not having a relationship with her. I said I wanted time to see what I want to do. But again, we spent the night together, and I don't want her to feel used. So, I told her my feelings and she supported me a lot and understood me. She told me how she feels, and I'm glad she doesn't feel used. We won't be dating, but I'll see her if I come to pick up my kids and she's there, which is fine. She's a great influence on them and helps them get over their mothers and my divorce. Right now, I'm sitting outside on the terrace. We ordered their favorite food to take away, and I watch them fool around. It's great to see them so happy. I don't know when my next update will be, but I'll do it as soon as I can. Thank you for getting to this part of the video. If you know of any similar stories or have any comments, let us know. Also, we have more videos that might interest you. Remember to subscribe, leave your like, and until next time.